Good morning, Lori Bernard here with Century 21 Affiliated. I promised you guys I would have a special guest today. I have Eric Pederson with me from Waterstone Mortgage here in Hudson. Eric and I have worked with a lot of buyers over the years. Eric has been a tremendous partner in helping my clients get pre-approved and get through the mortgage process simply and without stress. And he's just a great resource and has a ton of information. And so I thought it'd be great to bring him in and just go over some of the questions that we do run into with buyers a lot. And so today we're going to focus on one topic, and that's the topic of pre-qualification. So pre-qualification versus pre-approval. And I find for buyers, it's kind of like going to the dentist. It's something they put off and put off and put off. They really don't want to do it. They'd really rather just go look at houses. And the problem is in this market, it's so competitive that I say, if we go look at houses and you find something you like, and now it's another couple days till you get your paperwork together, you might miss the opportunity to buy that house. So let's talk about the importance of pre-qualification, pre-approval, and what that looks like. So what is a typical buyer going to have to do to get pre-approved?
Well, pre-approval and pre-qualification are two separate things. If you want to get pre-qualified quickly to go look at a home, you can go and do an online application, meet with me in person, one of the two. We will pull credit, put all the documentation together, look at your debt ratios, look at your credit scores, and then could send you out shopping for a house. It's not as solid as a pre-approval. That would be where you bring in your financials or send them to me, and I'd be able to review all of your financial documentation, bank statements, income, and then send you out shopping with a solid pre-approval. Okay. And in that pre-approval letter, it would actually read that I've looked at financials, so then the list agent, when they present that to their seller, it's a very solid offer.
Great. And sometimes what I hear from buyers is, I know I'm comfortable with this payment. And that's only part of the equation, isn't it? I mean, it's a really important part of the equation, but you mentioned credit scores and debt to income ratios. Those play in. So while you may be comfortable with a certain payment, your lender needs to be comfortable with it too.
That's very true. And we as lenders, we qualify you based on anything that reports to the credit bureau, such as credit cards, auto loans, installment loans, student loans, and then the new housing debt. We don't know what your cell phone is. We don't know if you like to travel. So that's where it's good to sit down and get together and really talk about the total cost and what you have as a lifestyle.
Sure. Well, that makes sense. So what does this process look like? I mean, we're kind of in tax season. And I think some buyers think, oh my gosh, I'm going to be digging through my file cabinet for weeks here. How painful is it?
It's really not that painful. You can send files to me via PDF. You can grab them from your employer's websites for your W-2s typically and your pay stubs. Tax returns are typically always kept on PDF files nowadays, and they can just be sent to me either via email, or if you've done an application, there's actually a portal where you can browse and attach them and send them directly to me.
Okay, cool. But they can just come to your office with hard copies?
You bet. And then we can just make copies and I can scan them and make PDFs myself.
Good. So now once that's in place, how long is it good for?
The credit report is good for 120 days for a score.
So 4 months.
Yep, and we have to have that intact at the time you close. So you could be on the 120th day at the day of closing and we're still going to use all of that information. Okay. As far as financial documents, we like to update them about monthly if you're out there shopping and running around, just so that they're current.
Sure.
No surprises.
We don't like surprises, do we? No one likes surprises, not in the process. So what do you find are the biggest stumbling blocks for buyers? What can make it difficult? Is it poor credit, disorganization with documents?
I think it's a combination. Sometimes they don't really understand debt to income, and they don't see that. So it's good to get all the financials out in front of us. Credit score plays a huge factor. There's so many different programs out there, and the credit score does play a big factor in what program is going to work for each individual. So it's good to see all that stuff up front.
Can you help people? Let's say their credit score is just kind of borderline, and can you help them get their credit score up? Are there tips?
Depending on what the issues are, if they're old collections, a lot of times it just takes time to get past all of that, or judgments will need to get paid. But if it's a credit to limit issue with a credit card, yes, we can help with that. Obviously, pay down the card, call and request for a higher limit. That'll help, but then you have to wait until the next reporting cycle.
Okay.
So yeah, it is timing for everything.
And, this is, for my buyers, this is why I really encourage them to start this process early, because it can take a little bit of time depending on how organized you are, depending on what your credit history is. And so we really need to get out ahead of this and not leave it to the last minute, because it's, when that right house comes along, you need to be ready. You need to have your pre-qualification or pre-approval letter in place, or really your offer won't even be considered.
Well, yeah, and we're coming into, as we both know, a very fast-paced market,
yeah.
and multiple offers can happen all the time, and a solid pre-approval letter can sometimes beat out even a better, higher offer.
Absolutely. No, I've seen it on the buy side. I've seen it with my sellers as well. A good solid pre-approval, pre-qualification from a known, respected local lender can go a long way.
I agree.
Appreciate your expertise. We're going to be back next week. We're going to talk more about the types of loans that are available, dispel some of those myths about, do I need 20% down?
No, you don't.
So we're going to talk about that next week, and hope you will tune in. If you have questions, please let me or Eric know. I'll include our contact info here. Go out and make it a great day.
See you later.